History, international relations, and geopolitics are amazing things. One thing they prove is that over the long term, and by the long term I mean decades and centuries, anything is possible. When the US and President Trump look to smooth relations with Russia, many say that is totally out of order and should not be contemplated. And when the US offends countries like Germany, or if it offended countries like Japan, the same people would probably be saying that is totally out of order. But think of the world in an historical context. 70 to 80 years ago, Germany and Japan were mortal enemies of the US, and Russia was essentially a military ally. Then, the post-World War II scenario changed markedly, and Japan and Germany obviously became close military and economic partners of the US. The same can be said in the Middle East. Again, using the US as the example, allies can become foes and vice versa in the space of decades. Up to around 1979, Iran was one of the closest allies of the US. So what I'm saying is, don't close your mind to all possibilities when it comes to shifts in international relations, geopolitics, and international alliances. Outcomes can evolve that people decades earlier would have laughed off as crazy and an impossibility. In short, what I am saying is, don't look at the global situation and alliances as they stand today as somehow being the norm that will sustain itself into the long-term future. Anything could happen in the next 20 to 50 years. Do not discount the possibility that US relations with Europe deteriorate. No one can say definitely that the US, Russia, and China will never form a trilateral alliance that basically controls the globe. No one can say that nations that are enemies and foes of the West today will still be enemies and foes in 50 years' time. So let's not be too quick to criticise efforts to smooth international relations. You never know what the upside could be if the US, for example, establishes closer ties with, for example, Russia, North Korea, or for that matter, Iran. You simply don't know if your mindset is fixated on today or the next decade. Open your mind to the next 50 to 100 years. Most of us will not be here, but you cannot say for certain that there will not be, for example, an alliance, say between the US, Russia and China, that completely alienates and shuts out Europe. Other scenarios considered crazy today could also evolve. So consider what I'm saying. It is my view. Correct me if I'm wrong.